What's up everyone, and welcome back to another What If video. On the last part of this series, we left up with Vegeta kind of allying himself with Goku earlier than usual in order to defeat Frieza. With the new gravity training room, the Z fighters can now train more effectively, especially the Saiyans. Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, and Goten have been training intensely to try and stop Frieza, as he's a potential threat in the future, and they don't want to risk having him come to Earth. The Saiyans are close to reaching their goal, but do they actually have enough power? Let's get into it. Now I want to bring up something important, the timeline. The Namek arc originally happens in December of Age 762, specifically Goku and Frieza's fight happening on Christmas Eve. At this point in the scenario, we're currently in around November of Age 763, almost a year afterwards. Future Trunks arrives when Frieza does, which is about a year and a half after the events of Namek. But we don't know the exact month, but we can assume it's around June of Age 764. That will be important later, since this means that Trunks is going to arrive in about 6 to 7 months' time. The Saiyans have been training tirelessly, but feel it wasn't enough. Even with their massive power levels, Vegeta still feels uneasy. After nearly a year of training, they feel like time is running out for them. Frieza could set his sights on Earth at any point, and if he somehow finds out Vegeta is there, it's going to be even sooner than that. Also, Chi-Chi is starting to get fed up with Goku constantly taking Gohan and Goten to train for nearly a year. Both the threat of Frieza and Chi-Chi are equally terrifying to Goku. Frieza has multiple transformations, and while his first form may not be too powerful for them to face, his extra forms might be. And alongside that, they have King Cold to worry about. The group was planning to just assault Frieza's planet and defeat Frieza and King Cold, but they don't think they're powerful enough right now. Goku decides to go up to Kami's lookout and ask for some advice, anything that might help them train. Kami does have an idea, and it might be very useful, but he can't guarantee it'll help everyone. He tells Goku about King Kai and how he could see if he can get King Kai to train them, but there's a bit of an issue. King Kai wouldn't want to take too many people to train, probably 3 at most. And if Kami were to ask King Yama, he almost certainly would exclude Vegeta from going there. But Goku doesn't necessarily feel like leaving Vegeta alone on Earth because Vegeta isn't entirely a good guy yet, and that would also mean he'd be left in the dust. But this suggestion from Kami seems like their only option to get strong quickly. But maybe Goku himself doesn't have to go. Goku returns to the group with an idea, sending Gohan and Goten to King Kai, while Goku stays and trains with Vegeta. The two kids don't really know what to think of it, but if it'll make them strong, they're excited to see what could come of it. The only reason these two are going is because of what I said before about Vegeta, and also the fact that Goku can't just leave Vegeta to do nothing, and someone needs to keep an eye on him. They could send Piccolo with the two boys, but it's unlikely that King Yama would allow him to go either because of Piccolo's past. As for any other Z fighter, they're way outclassed compared to even Gohan and Goten, so it wouldn't make much sense to send them. Gohan and Goten will go to King Kai, which will help them potentially unlock their latent powers as well as learn new techniques and how to fight more properly. Goku and Vegeta stay behind and go into the gravity chamber non-stop, while Kami takes the two boys to King Yama, who lets the two boys go with no hesitation at all. He can sense the promise in them and knows that they're trustworthy and good of heart, and he sends them along Snake Way. Given their power at the moment, Snake Way doesn't take too long for the boys to pass. They can fly after all, and pretty quickly. Within a day, they arrive at King Kai's planet and they face the hardest part, trying to come up with a joke for King Kai. They struggle, but they end up passing and their training begins. King Kai sees that they're already powerful right now, so instead of focusing on their power, he instead wants to focus on teaching them some techniques, fighting styles, and maybe some extreme weight training with Kachikachin, if the time permits. Learning of the boys' goal, as well as that of Goku and Vegeta, he feels uneasy trying to send them off to defeat Frieza, but feeling their power puts him at ease. Someone in this universe has to get rid of Frieza, and maybe these 4 Saiyans can help out, so he needs to strengthen these boys further. After just 4 months of training, King Kai feels that they've already gotten more than enough experience. The main goal of their training wasn't to make their power levels higher, but instead to give them more fighting experience and new techniques, as well as giving them more resolve and discipline to prepare them for the fight. It's a shame that King Kai couldn't train Goku and Vegeta, but those two are just glad that it might help them against Frieza. King Kai tells the boys that he'll keep tabs on them with their first fight against Frieza. Now let's give some power levels as usual. Goten and Gohan are at 10 million each, with Vegeta and Goku both at 19 million. Goku and Vegeta have kept up their gravity training over the 4 months and are now a lot stronger. Gohan and Goten didn't grow much in power like I mentioned, they only had a small increase, but by training with King Kai, they have learned the Kaioken, and as of now, they're only really good with ×5, but could use ×10 if needed with some struggle. That power should be more than enough to kill Frieza, hopefully. And the two have also learned the Spirit Bomb, if ever needed, but will only use it in dire situations. Now the group is ready. Bulma ends up building a ship and preparing the group as they try to find Frieza's planet, and this takes about another month or so. The group of 4 then begins their journey, with some rest on the way. After a few more weeks, they arrive to the strange planet they heard about from Vegeta, Frieza Planet 79. The group suppresses their power and Vegeta leads the way. They're going to bring an ambush right to Frieza. When he sees the first soldiers he could find, he demands to see Lord Frieza, as he has some new recruits that he found off-planet. Luckily, Frieza is there in the palace at the moment, and he's surprised to see Vegeta still alive and calls him into the throne room to see what Vegeta's making a commotion over. Vegeta kneels before Frieza and greets him, with the other 3 in tow. Frieza's a little angry. Where's Vegeta been all this time? Who are these monkeys he's brought with him? He berates Vegeta, but Vegeta only smirks. It's best to do this quick. While Frieza is still in his first form and off guard, Vegeta quickly powers up to his maximum power. Every scouter in the building explodes from it, and before Frieza can even react, he feels a beam pierce him through his chest. Only being in his first form right now, an attack from Vegeta at a power of 19 million gravely injures Frieza, who's only about 530,000 right now. That was way easier than they thought it would be. Vegeta gives one last look at Frieza, feeling a mix of hatred and accomplishment now that he sees the all-powerful Lord Frieza on the ground before him. Pathetic. Vegeta charges up one last blast at Frieza and fires it. Frieza can't do anything right now. The blast completely disintegrates him and blows a hole through the side of the complex, while Goku and his sons watch in awe with a bit of terror at how Vegeta is acting. Vegeta is proud, but the mission isn't done yet. Why do all that training if they were just going to catch Frieza off guard? Well, Frieza wasn't his main concern. King Cold was. With the large blast in the area Frieza was in, the entire planet is on high alert now. The forces scramble to attack, but the Saiyans easily defend against it with no trouble. With Vegeta killing the Frieza Force soldiers while Goku and his sons just knock them out. Vegeta's getting impatient with Goku now that he's sparing these guys after all the atrocities they've committed. But before he can berate Goku, they sense a massive power approaching. King Cold has arrived and he's furious. His son is dead, and these intruders have the audacity to destroy this palace alongside it. Being confident in his abilities, he remains in his second form, which may seem like a challenge, but really, it's only a little bit stronger than suppressed Mecha Frieza as far as we know. We don't know the true extent of it, but that's just his second form, or supposed second form. We don't really know if he could transform or not, but considering Frieza and Cooler, as well as Frost even, it makes sense to think that King Cold could transform. But in his second form alone, he easily fends the Saiyans off, with Goku and Vegeta at max power, and then Gohan and Goten show off Kaioken. The two boys seem quite powerful, and actually begin to challenge King Cold a lot. One of them alone is pretty much enough to face King Cold. Maybe this form isn't enough. King Cold then begins to grow in size, and begins to transform into a horrific monster that is his third form. He wants to take out the two boys first. King Cold doesn't care about Goku and his sons as he doesn't know them, and only cares about keeping Vegeta alive so he can deal him a punishment later on. He wastes no time and knocks Goku and Vegeta to the side after transforming, sending them crashing through a nearby wall, and they can only watch right now as they see what's going on. The two boys power up to Kaioken ×10 again, and barely are able to dodge King Cold's attacks. He's getting frustrated that he can't hit them both, so then he charges towards Goten with the intention of impaling him. Quickly, Gohan jumps in to push Goten out of the way and save him, and then he gets skewered by King Cold right through his chest, somewhat like Frieza did with Krillin. King Cold smirks, now that he's got one, and with this other kid completely paralyzed with fear looking at what happened to Gohan, he takes this opportunity to fire a death beam right at Goten now. Even with their Kaioken pushed to ×20 now, which is basically tearing them apart, they couldn't dodge or defend against these attacks. Goten is now dead, with Gohan dying quickly, now being impaled by King Cold's horn. Vegeta watches in complete disbelief, and looks over to Goku, but he sees someone he doesn't recognize. The way Kakarot looks right now isn't like anything Vegeta's ever seen from him before. Having seen Goten die in front of him, and Gohan being gravely wounded, all while he's completely helpless set something off inside of Goku. A mix of deep anger and sadness are the only things Goku can feel right now. He can't even speak. King Cold looks towards the two and gives him a grim smile, but the smile turns into a look of fear as he sees Goku. Goku lets out a deafening roar and is surrounded by an intense golden aura. The sheer force of this power right now creates a crater where he's standing. After seeing what King Cold did to his sons, Goku completely loses it. King Cold drops Gohan and begins to step back in fear. Goku fully powers up, and his hair begins to turn golden. With tears streaming down his face, Goku is now a Super Saiyan. Vegeta and King Cold already know what's going on. Gohan weakly watches this happen, happy to at least see what's going on. He couldn't save Goten, but at least Goku will finish the job now. The last thing Goku senses before completely losing it is Gohan's energy fading into nothing, as Gohan dies alongside his brother. Before King Cold even knows what's going on, he feels a sharp pain in his stomach. Goku punches him with such a force that it impales the king. King Cold tries to attack but is useless. Goku, now completely berserk, begins to beat on King Cold with no remorse. He doesn't care about sparing this guy. He knows King Cold will never change. And he doesn't even want to give him the opportunity to transform further. This guy doesn't deserve to live. Vegeta grabs the bodies of Gohan and Goten and flees to a safe distance to watch in awe at the power of a Super Saiyan. In King Cold's third form, I'm going to place him at about a power of over 210 million. And Goku's power before was 19 million. Super Saiyan is a 50 times multiplier, and that means Goku's at 950 million. King Cold doesn't stand a chance. The fight rages on with Goku at a clear advantage, and just as quickly as it started, it's over. The palace and area around it are completely leveled, with an enraged Goku now standing over the corpse of King Cold. Goku takes one look at Vegeta, giving him a cold expression, as he falls to the ground unconscious after using up so much energy without knowing how to handle it. Vegeta doesn't know what to think of anything that just transpired. All he knows is that they have to leave right now. Vegeta looks down at King Cold next to the unconscious Goku with a look of contempt, as he grabs Kakarot and the two kids and weakly takes them back to the ship. Vegeta is barely able to make it and get a Senzu bean for himself, but is dreading giving one to Goku as he doesn't know what will happen when he wakes up. Will he go berserk again? Will Vegeta have to tell him what happened with his sons? He ponders and launches the ship first, and tries to think of what to do as they head back to Earth. After over 4 months of training with King Kai, the month of waiting and the long journey towards Frieza's planet, over 6 months have passed in total since the beginning of this part. Back on Earth, the Z fighters are now gathered around a power that they sense not too far away. They see a boy with purple hair and a sword, looking very confused as to what's going on. He asks if the group knows anything about Frieza or where Goku is right now. Well, they don't know when he'll be back, but they know that he's fighting Frieza right now, with Vegeta, Gohan, and Goten. But everyone on Earth is still alive. Shouldn't they be dead if Goku is only on Namek with Frieza right now? Also, who's Goten? And he sees Bulma too, who's obviously about to give birth to himself way earlier than he should be born. Trunks is completely confused as to what's happening, and this is where we'll leave off for now. Now that Trunks has arrived in the midst of the battle, how will this change the rest of the story? What will Vegeta do about Goku as they head back to Earth, now feeling guilty that he couldn't do anything to help? What will happen with Gohan and Goten in the afterlife? Comment your suggestions below as we prepare for the next part, and as always, remember to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for notifications about future parts of this What If and other videos. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.